Here are some useful tips to help you with your parrot training. Hello everyone, welcome back to The Parrot Teacher. I'm David and today I am launching my core training skills series. It's going to be a whole series dedicated to core training skills I think are essential for your parrot and things that are going to help you improve your life with them, and I feel that every parrot owner or trainer should know and use with their parrots. I'm going through all these basics to help new owners or maybe help you as an experienced owner brush up a little bit. To start off the series, I'm going to set you up with some tips for success. Rather than repeating all these tips throughout the whole series, I'm going to put them in the first video of the series so I can talk about them and then not have to go over them over and over again and just refer back to this video. These are going to be tips that will help set you up for success when you're doing any kind of parrot training with your bird, and will be especially useful when you're doing these core skills training. So my first tip is basically establish what your bird's favourite treat is. Find out what their favourite food is by doing a treat hierarchy test. And that basically is just lining up the treats in front of them or put them in a bowl if they're a bit nervous and seeing what they take first, second and third consistently. And do it repeatedly, don't just take one example. Do it like a knockout tournament if you have to. Remember, for some parrots it may be nuts, it may be seeds, you may have to try some fruits, little bits of fruit. Experiment with all sorts of things and get that ranking, and then when you get that number one, save that for your training. It's going to help you loads. Treat motivation is so important when it comes to training, especially if you're just building up your training relationship or bond. Our parrots don't like working for free. Why should our parrots? So be really clear about what they like, and that leads on to my next point, which is always reinforce. If you want your parrot to do something, make it worth their while. Reinforce the behaviour. You want them to step up, reinforce them, give them a treat. You want them to go back in that cage, make sure you reinforce the behaviour by giving them something high value, because again, no one likes to work for free, and you're going to have much more success if you reinforce your parrot for what you want them to do. If you're working on training, especially if you find you're having a little bit of a hurdle or you're working on diet conversion and their treat motivation isn't quite as high yet, do a training session in the morning before you give them their breakfast. We never want our birds to be without food, but every creature is naturally a little bit hungrier first thing in the morning. So give them a training session before breakfast, even if it's just a couple of targets, a couple of step ups, whatever you want to do. You might find some more success if you do a training session before breakfast. Next up is be consistent and be clear in what you want your parrot to do. Be consistent with how you offer your targets, be consistent with how you offer your hand when you want your parrot to step up. Make it really nice and consistent and make it clear what you want them to do. We don't like confusing messages, again, neither do our parrots. So if they know exactly what they have to do, it's nice and clear throughout the whole process. It's going to make it a lot more clear to them what they need to do, and also that they're going to get something nice for doing it right at the end. Consistency and being clear on what you want is very important. The next tip I have is don't force interactions. If your parrot's getting a bit tired, then just stop the session. Try and end it on a high if possible, but don't force interactions with them. We want it all to be consent based. They're basically a friend that you bring into your house, and you want them to have that friendly relationship. No one likes to be forced to do things. So take a step back if you feel like you have to force things, and find a way of getting them motivated, which normally comes from reinforcement through treats, although other things can be reinforcing too. Very important, end your sessions on a high where possible. It's slightly older advice, but it's really, really useful. I wouldn't necessarily say you're ending every session with they must have more, but end the session with them feeling happy about what they've done. Even if it's a really short session, they do a couple of successful targets, they get reinforced. If you have to end it there, that's great. End it on a high, so next time they do it, it's a positive association. And my last tip is make sure you give yourself enough time. Now, sessions don't have to be long, but the more consistent you are with them, and also that you give yourself enough time to do a proper session with them, even if it's only a couple of minutes, the more likely you are to have success. It's like a formula for success with lots of training, and a lot of people are rushy and they expect quick results. It will come in time, sometimes quicker, sometimes slower. So allow yourself time, take your time with it, and you'll have much more success with your training there too. So hopefully some of these sort of like core tips, some of these useful things will help set you up for success. The next video is going to be the basic, which is going to be step up training in this series. Do apply these tips to it, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, see you later.